India's foreign policy, long characterized by a persistent focus on its western neighbor Pakistan, has entered a new era of recalibration. The shifting sands of regional geopolitics, economic realities, and global alignments have prompted New Delhi to look beyond the old paradigms of rivalry and to adopt a more nuanced, forward-looking approach. This evolution is particularly visible in India's eastward gaze, with Bangladesh emerging as a focal point of strategic, economic, and cultural engagement. To understand this transformation, it is essential to delve into the complexities that have shaped India's recalibrated priorities. For decades, the India-Pakistan relationship has been marked by cycles of hostility, suspicion, and sporadic engagement. The shadow of partition, unresolved territorial disputes, and divergent national narratives have cast a long pall over the subcontinent. The global community, too, has often viewed South Asia through the prism of Indo-Pakistani tensions, with much diplomatic energy expended on managing crises rather than fostering cooperation. Yet, the calculus is changing. Pakistan, once seen as a strategic peer and a formidable adversary, is grappling with deep-seated economic and political challenges. Pakistan's economy has suffered severe setbacks in recent years. Inflation has soared, external debt has reached unsustainable levels, and reliance on international financial institutions such as the International Monetary Fund has grown. The country's industrial base has weakened, its social indicators have lagged, and institutional instability has eroded confidence at home and abroad. This economic malaise has translated into a diminished capacity to project power or exert influence regionally and globally. Where once Pakistan's military prowess and strategic location commanded attention, today its vulnerabilities are more exposed than ever. At the same time, global perceptions of Pakistan have shifted. The international community, particularly in the West, has grown increasingly wary of Pakistan's alleged links to extremist groups and its ambivalent stance on issues of terrorism and regional security. Political instability and an apparent strategic drift towards China have further complicated Islamabad's diplomatic standing. As Western countries recalibrate their own relationships in the Indo-Pacific, their willingness to indulge Pakistan's narrative or to view it as a counterweight to India has waned. In this context, India finds itself less compelled to counter every narrative emanating from across the border. The global community, increasingly supportive of India's positions on terrorism and regional stability, provides New Delhi with greater diplomatic space to pursue its own priorities. While Pakistan's influence wanes, a new center of gravity is emerging to India's east. Bangladesh, a country once written off as an economic basket case, has undergone a quiet but remarkable transformation. Over the past decade, Bangladesh's economy has grown at rates that have at times outstripped those of its larger neighbor. Its garment industry has become a global powerhouse. Remittances from an industrious diaspora flow steadily, and investments in health and education have raised the country's human development indicators. In some metrics, such as per capita GDP growth and improvements in the Human Development Index, Bangladesh has even surpassed India, challenging old stereotypes and presenting a new model of South Asian success. Bangladesh's economic ascent is not just a story of numbers. It has profound geopolitical implications. The country's strategic location along the Bay of Bengal makes it a linchpin in India's Act East policy, which seeks to deepen economic and infrastructural ties with Southeast Asia. The connectivity corridors that pass through Bangladesh are vital for integrating India's landlocked northeastern states with the rest of the country and the wider region. Improved roads, railways, and ports can unlock new avenues of trade, investment, and people-to-people contact. Yet, this strategic opportunity also brings new challenges. China, ever alert to the shifting tectonics of Asian geopolitics, has made substantial inroads into Bangladesh. Investments in infrastructure, particularly in port development, are widely seen as part of Beijing's String of Pearls strategy, a network of commercial and military facilities designed to enhance China's influence across the Indian Ocean littoral. From Chittagong to Pera, Chinese capital and expertise are reshaping Bangladesh's infrastructure landscape. For India, this raises concerns about strategic encirclement and the potential erosion of its traditional sphere of influence. The competition for influence in Bangladesh is not merely a matter of hard power or economic inducements. It is also a contest of narratives, identities, and historical memory. India's role in Bangladesh's War of Independence in 1971 remains a cornerstone of the bilateral relationship. The cultural, linguistic, and familial bonds that tie the two nations are profound and enduring. Yet, memories can fade, and new generations are shaped by contemporary realities. India's challenge is to sustain and rejuvenate these bonds, to ensure that its relationship with Bangladesh is not taken for granted, but cultivated with care and respect. In this context, India is recalibrating its global image and diplomatic strategy. The era of reactive defensive diplomacy, where the primary goal was to counter Pakistan's narrative on the world stage, is giving way to a more constructive, proactive approach. India is investing in its soft power, leveraging its rich cultural heritage, vibrant diaspora, and growing economic clout to build partnerships that are forward-looking and mutually beneficial. In the East, this means expanding ties not just with Bangladesh, but with Nepal, Myanmar, and the wider ASEAN region. The tools of engagement are varied, from trade agreements and digital cooperation to educational exchanges and cultural diplomacy. This strategy is not without its domestic dimensions. India's northeastern states, long beset by insurgency and underdevelopment, are central to the logic of eastward engagement. Improved relations with Bangladesh are critical for ensuring peace, stability, and economic integration in this sensitive region. Cross-border connectivity projects, power-sharing arrangements, and collaborative efforts to address illegal migration and water-sharing disputes have the potential to transform the Northeast from a periphery into a gateway. The issue of migration, in particular, remains a delicate one. Large-scale movements of people across the India-Bangladesh border have, at times, strained relations and fueled domestic political tensions. Water-sharing disputes over rivers such as the Teesta have also proven contentious. India's approach today is to seek solutions through dialogue and cooperation, recognizing that sustainable regional stability is best achieved through partnership rather than confrontation. All of these developments point to a broader trend. India is not abandoning its concerns over Pakistan, but it is recalibrating the weight it assigns to different strategic priorities. Pakistan remains militarily relevant, but in economic and diplomatic terms, its star has waned. The resources and attention that were once devoted to managing and countering Pakistan's influence are now being redirected towards more promising and competitive arenas. Bangladesh, by contrast, represents a dynamic and evolving frontier. Its economic emergence, strategic location, and growing international profile make it central to India's regional ambitions. The competition for influence in Bangladesh is not a zero-sum game, but it does reflect a new realism in Indian foreign policy, a recognition that old rivalries must give way to new partnerships if the region is to prosper. This shift is not about abandoning propaganda or engaging in simplistic economic comparisons. It is about strategic prioritization in a rapidly changing regional order. India's eastward turn reflects a recognition that the future of South Asia lies in connectivity, cooperation, and constructive engagement. The challenges are many, but so too are the opportunities. By looking east, India is positioning itself not just as a regional power, but as a key architect of a more stable, prosperous, and interconnected Asian future.